Hi guys and girls, my name's Harley and I'm an author on NetTuts, and I've actually been asked to create a screencast for the new NetTuts Plus service. This is my very first screencast, so bear with me if I trip up a little. Today we are going to be creating a address book, but that's actually run by Wordpress. And the thing about Wordpress is that it's been used as a blog, and that's what it originally started as, but thanks to all the extensive work that the Wordpress team have done, it's actually usable for pretty much anything you want these days. And there's lists across the internet of alternative uses for WordPress, and today we're going to focus on one thing, which is to create a simple address book like this. Basically it just does what an address book does. It indexes all your contacts and has information, and through using WordPress's custom fields, we're going to be creating one of these. And the custom fields will be stuff like the work phone and the mobile phone and the work email. And yeah, so let's get right into it. There's a few things that we're going to need to start off with. First of all, we're going to need jQuery. I've actually already downloaded a copy, but if you go to jQuery.com, you can go to the downloads page and then scroll down a bit and find it here, and you want the minified version just because it's small and it's quick to download, which is good. And I've prepared a set of images. It's just a small zip that'll actually be on the NetTuts page for this screencast. So yeah, you'll have to download those images, which I've also done here. Thirdly, because we want to be able to create this kind of quick search function like this, we're going to need a way to do this using Ajax, obviously. So there's actually already a plugin being created to do this for us. It's called Live Search Popup, and it's available on the WordPress extend site. But I've actually modified it a little bit to fit in with our theme, so you'll also be able to download that off the NetTuts page for this screencast. And finally, I always think it's a good idea to have a new WordPress directory, especially when we're using custom fields so much. So what I'd suggest do is go to wordpress.org/download, download it, and create a new WordPress directory. It's really quick. Basically, you guys might have an online WordPress directory that you want to install. I'm doing it locally. The way I do it is I download a program called MAP, which stands for MySQL Apache something. And it's basically a offline PHP server. So through MAP, I've got MySQL and Apache to run all my WordPress things, and I actually use it a ridiculous amount. It's fantastic because when I'm on the bus, I can travel around. And let's just wait for it to load. Okay, so it's loading up here, and it switches on these two, and then I shall be able to visit some localhost sites. And I'm going to create a new database for my WordPress. So for my WordPress address book, so I actually use SQL Body because it looks kind of nicer than PHP My Admin. I'll just let that load because it always takes a while to load when you first open MAP. And okay, so while I'm waiting for this to load, I'll explain the basic plan of attack. First of all, we're going to organize the files because it's a WordPress theme and there's plugins. You're going to have to arrange stuff in certain spots. So I'll go through that, and then also because the post content is going to be slightly different for the posts, I'll explain how to add custom fields and explain which parts of a post are which. Thirdly, I'm going to go through the WordPress code, and that'll include index.php and single.php because they slightly differ. Because with the jQuery that we'll be using to dynamically load the content into the load area, which is basically this area here, we will need some jQuery, and there's actually a tutorial on NetTuts already that does that for us. Oh, SQL body doesn't want to load. Try PHP in my admin. Okay, much faster. So we're going to create a new database called address book tut. Go create. And now that's done, which is fantastic, we can continue to install our WordPress directory. So I'll just finish, and then after we've done the WordPress code, we'll go onto the CSS code, which basically just makes it look like the app window. And there's actually a file that that'll show the substitution areas. Where is it? Let me find it. It is it this one? Nope. I do apologize. I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, okay, here it is. So basically this will be the groups or the categories. So we'll sort our contacts into home and work, and this will be the main section where we've got all our contacts, and this will be the load area, which is actually where the content for each contact will dynamically load into here, and there'll be like a crazy little loader and everything. And we've got our footer, and these three icons along the bottom will actually be only activated when or actually they'll only be, these two will only be activated when the admin's logged in, because you don't want regular users editing your contacts. And so that's basically how we're gonna structure it. And then we'll move on to the jQuery, which will inevitably make all the loading and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so I'll just install my WordPress directory. Alright, so now that's done, I can go to address book tut, create config. And because we're working on a local host, I've got to add the extension, run the install. And my email. Alright, we can install WordPress, and fantastic, that's done. So you'll log into your new WordPress account, and we'll save the password. Actually we won't, because we'll have to change it. And just quickly, I'll change the password so that we can log in easily. I'm not telling you what it is. And alright, so that's done. So now we've got our very own WordPress directory that's specifically for our tutorial. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to organize some files together. So we'll mainly be working in the WordPress content because that's pretty much all that you can edit easily with WordPress. So we'll drag the live search pop-up plugin that I've modified into the plugins folder, and we'll drag the images. Oh, sorry, we can't do that yet. And so we'll open themes, create a new folder called address book. We'll open that, and we shall drag jQuery and the images folder that I've created. And that's pretty much all the organizing done. Now we'll actually need a couple more files. So we'll create address book.js, which will contain the loading stuff. We will need index.php, which is the front page. We'll need single.php, which will contain all the custom fields echoing, and finally style.css. Now because we're setting everything up, we'll actually activate our theme straight away. So into the code, into style.css, so that the WordPress engine can recognize it, we'll create a comment. This contains a bit of information about our theme. So we've got the theme name, address book, Theme, what's next? URI. We'll just make this nettuts.com. Theme description. We'll make this Apple address book.app clone via WordPress. Next up is the version. It's only 1.0. And then the author, Harley, author URI, it's bafflink.com. Don't ask where I got the name, it just kind of came to my mind. And now that that's done, you should be able to go back to your WordPress admin and change the theme. Now this will pick up, this will display because we've created a new folder, added some style.css, and WordPress automatically picks that up. So a address book, I've actually spelled that wrong, it should be n. Yep, so now it's n addressbook.app cloned via WordPress. So we'll click on it to activate it. It won't actually look like anything yet because our index.php file doesn't have anything in it, but it will soon. So we'll activate it. Now if you visit your site, it'll be completely blank, that's no problem. I'll just close all these. Alright, we can start adding some posts. So you won't actually see these happen until we start editing the code, but I will run through the basic code. So I'll just get rid of the post that's already there because we don't want it. Alright, so go to the right panel and we'll give the title. We'll call our first friend Mary King. Don't ask why. We'll give some notes about her, like where we met her, why we're friends. So we met in uni. Great friend. Catch up for a coffee soon. Shall change it from Mary King to, what's another? Hans Bricks. Have you guys seen Team America? It's a good movie. Alright, now scroll down to categories. Now we don't actually want uncategorized for any of them because it's not really useful in our case. So we'll add a new category called home. Make it a parent category. And now for the custom fields. There's a few bits of information that we're going to need. There's an email address, a website, 3 phone numbers, work, home, and mobile, an image, and a physical address like Norton Street, wherever. So what we'll do is create one of those for. We'll create one custom field for each of those options for our new friend Hans Bricks. Hans Bricks. Anyway, so we'll go, what's first? Address. And we'll just make up an address, 123 Fake Street, Marubra, 2034. Australians have, this is an Australian address, but it doesn't actually exist, but that's how they're formatted anyway. Australia. And you go add custom field, and you now show that you've got your custom field. So we'll just create a couple of other ones. Oh, actually we should change that to address. We don't want capitals because it complicates things. Phone work, 028, random number. Phone home, 02, random number. Phone mobile, you know, 0422 and we need a website. We'll make their website NetTuts just because they're that cool. And oops, don't want capital. Update, and we will also create what else? Email. Make it hans.bricks@nettuts.com. And entry image. Now, just for interesting sake, I won't add an entry image right now because what we'll actually do when we get to the WordPress code is we'll do this if statement which checks to see if the user's logged in, and if it is, it'll display a blank image that says add, and if it's not, it'll just display a blank image, and the add will be clickable, so the admin can come in and it'll automatically scroll down to here to like add the custom field. So with all our custom fields, address, phone work, phone home, phone mobile, website, email, we will publish the post, and we've now got it here. Now just for like designing sake, you should make lots and lots and lots of well, not loads, but you know, just make some contacts. I've actually created a set of them when I was testing out this thing, and I'll put that up on the NetShoots page as well. It's this one. It basically backs up all the post information. So we'll bring that in. Choose. And yeah, basically an XML file. So upload file and import. We'll map them to the admin so that it's all under the same person, and go submit. And so all my friends are being brought across. And if we go manage, we've now got all of these friends, which is pretty fantastic. And they're all hypothetical, by the way, except for me, of course. And Collis. I just thought I'd throw that in, you know, a bit of advertising. Anyway, alright, so now that we've got them, so I'll just quickly go through it. So basically the title is their name, the post content is the notes on them, the category is where we know them from, or like what aspect of our life they're from, so it'll be home or work. And we'll have the address, email, phone home, phone mobile, phone work, website, all as custom fields. And I'll actually manage posts. Adapt Training Solutions is actually a client I did. Entry image, see, here it is. This is actually a image that once we get onto the coding thing you'll see, and basically it's so that you can upload a custom image for them like you can in address book. See, like me, that's when I got ridiculously sunburned and wrote sexy on my stomach with sunblock, as you do. Anyway, alright, so we'll save that just in case we made any changes, and visit site, and it'll still be blank. So what we'll do now is to get onto the WordPress code. So if we go back to your favorite editor, mine's Coda, because you know I like Mac stuff, and open index.php, and we can start editing. Let me just give me a sec to open all my regular. I'll open them in text edit so I don't get confused. Themes. Oh, it's not in there. Mamp, htdocs, tutorials, address book, content, themes, address book. Oh, it's a big thing. Okay, so that one, and that one. You guys won't see this yet because it's just all my previous code. Okay, index.php. Uh-oh. It's not actually opening as it should. Alright, that's okay. I'll open these two in Coda. Alright, so we don't want to see these. So I actually always start off with a clip because it's kind of handy, it's easy to use. Some default WordPress code. It's actually got way too much information for what we need, so I'll get rid of some of it. Get rid of all that. Don't need that. Yeah, so basically we've got this. Now we can actually get rid of the blog info name because all we want as the title is to display the name of the person. So, which is all under the WP title function. Alright, so now we've got this link, and what I'll actually do is get you to include the JavaScript files, so script equals text, JavaScript source equals. Now we use our first template tag here. I bet you guys are all pretty familiar. Let me just take a drink. I bet you guys are all pretty familiar with template tags. This one, template directory, if I can spell today, basically gives us a link to this address book folder. So it goes through address book to WP content to themes, and then to address book to the activated theme. So and then we'll go /jQuery 1.2.6.min.js, and we'll actually get the the jQuery in first, because otherwise our other script won't work properly. So we'll do it again. Should type equals text slash JavaScript source equals template directory slash what we need. Is that right? No, I forgot the jQuery. Anyway, slash address book.js script, and I think that's pretty much it for the top. Yeah, alright, cool. So now what I'm gonna do, whoops, if you remember this image, where is it? Sites, tutorials, inspiration. Okay, if you remember this image, we're going to create a div for each of these. So we're going to have div header, div groups, div main section, div load area, and div footer. So what I'll do now is just fill those out quickly. Oh, and it's all going to be wrapped in a wrapper, because otherwise we can't wrapper, you know, like not like the yo-yo kind, but like, you know, the web design kind, the really boring nerdy kind. Anyway, so that centers it onto the website page. So div ID equals wrapper, and then we'll go div ID equals header, and you guys know what, you guys know what's in there. I always use, make sure you guys get into a habit of creating a good hierarchy in your tabs. Like, see how I've got that and then that, because it really helps you like see what's happening. I'll just header, and groups. You guys should be all doing this with me. Alright, camel caps. It really doesn't matter what you name this. You just have to remember to change it later on in the tutorial when we do the CSS. Yeah. So like I don't know if I finished explaining what we're going to be doing, but basically the header will contain the search information, and I won't go through it again. I think I already did. I'm just trying to create filler while I do this quickly. And load area, and finally it's footer, and footer. Alright, I apologize for that. So now we've got our basic hierarchy and areas where we will fill in all our content, all our WordPress code, and yeah, and so we'll jump straight into it, I guess. We'll go from the top to bottom. We'll start off with our header. So I think it begins with a header 1. Oops, header 1, because if you look at address book, it's got this. I'll just scroll up. My burnt stomach isn't very fantastic. Alright, we'll go to John Doe, which I created specially for this. So in the header we've got, we won't use these because that's a bit extensive for this tutorial, but we'll have a header 1 with address book and our search box thing. So what we'll do is we'll create a header 1, and we'll, for CSS sake, we'll wrap it in a span later so we can give it this I don't know how to get it back, but usually there's a little icon just here that looks like this. So we'll get that back. Sorry, we'll put that there. And that image was actually included in the image folder. So PHP blog info name. This one gets the name of the site. If you remember when we were setting it up, I called it address book. So if you go back to your nettips, that'll, yep. So that's our header 1 right there. I'll actually, for previewing stuff, I'll use my CSS edit, which I highly recommend you guys use because it's so easy and fantastic to use. Alright, so yeah, alright, okay, so I never actually showed you guys the working thing. This is basically what will happen. You'll be able to click through all these and it'll load the search thing, because because surfboard repair and I surfimate, so WordPress's search isn't actually that good at the moment, but you know. Alright, so here are our 2 surfboard results, and because it's this plugin actually uses the prototype framework, which doesn't mix very well with jQuery, so we can't actually do the dynamic loading off the search. So like as you see, surfboard repair. As you see, the URL changed. There's not a lot we can do about that. When we get to the JavaScript, we actually have to do a no conflict and use the jQuery selector instead of the $. So yeah, this is what you guys will be creating, and you can go to like all your home and work things. It's pretty fancy. Alright, so I will actually go to tutorial. Alright, so this is our address book, and this has a DOM selector. You see it's in the header 1 span in the header div, which is fantastic, and in the big wrapper, and then body. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point. So we'll go back to here and finish off our header. Now, what did I wrap? Alright, div ID equals search. Okay, now because with the where is it? Here. With the search bar, it's actually a see how long this is. Alright, doesn't say. With the search bar, we'll actually this is just gonna be like a normal WordPress search bar, and then the function information actually goes in here. So this will just be like your regular Joe WordPress. Anyway, div ID equals, what was it? Search form, and we'll put some content in here. We'll go form action equals PHP blog info URL, because we want the server to redirect back onto itself, which is somehow, I don't actually get all that. And because it's a WordPress thing, they use weird things. I usually use post, but WordPress uses get. And we'll close that off. And now, so we've got our basic form. We'll fill it out with a couple of inputs. So we'll go p. Input type equals, and because we actually want the enter to be here, I think that's what comes first. Let me just check. Yep. So type equals submit. So input type submit. Name equals search submit. And we'll give an ID of search submit 2. And we can close that off because it's an auto thing, and we'll create our other input. I actually shouldn't have done spaces. I should have done a tab, but tabs wouldn't actually get me underneath, so I'll just use spaces for this one. Input type equals what will it be? Text, and name equals S. WordPress automatically picks up S. Some reason, don't know why. We'll just check that's all. This actually didn't work for this tutorial for some reason, so we'll just make it nothing. Value. Alright, so now if you go back to our we've now got a search form with a submit and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty sweet. Next up, we are going to do our groups. Now, as I said, this contains the like home and work. So what we'll do is create a new UL, an ordered list, and we'll create a link to the top directory of our WordPress site, because that's where all the contacts will be displayed. So blog info. URL once again, which will link us straight back to the top, and we'll create that all. Now WordPress has a fantastic function called, I think it's WP get cat list categories. Alright, so we'll go PHP list categories. Now because it's a list function, not a get function, we have to get rid of the title, so that they're all list items, and we also have to exclude our uncategorized address book. We have to exclude our uncategorized what am I saying? We have to exclude our uncategorized option because we don't actually want that to display because we don't have any posts under that. So if you look up here, it's generally always going to be 1. I don't see why it shouldn't be 1 because it's the default thing. So and exclude equals 1. And now if we refresh our preview, it should come up with, yep, that's pretty much what we want, which is great. I think that's it for groups. Next up is the main section, which is where all the post goes. So the way this is set out is in a unordered list, I think. Okay, oh right, I forgot in groups, we need to give it a header. So header 3 groups. Just put enter there. Alright, so we'll call this one header 3 name, because in here it says name. UL, I think it's a UL. Yep. UL ID. Okay, we've got to give it an ID of post because we'll style it later on. Posts. Alright, and now we have our loop. So we'll stick that in here. If have posts while have posts. I've typed this more times than I can remember, which is kind of sad actually. See how I'm putting the end while and end if in the same PHP tags? This is generally bad practice. Generally you'd split them up at about here, and you'd put an else function to display if there are no posts. But because we're pretty sure that there aren't going to be any posts, we'll just we'll just put them together for grouping sake. And then we need to create our list functions. I believe, yep, so it's just a link to the permalink, which is the main page. And this is a template tag that can only be used in the that can only be used in the loop, and so is the title. And now if you go back to our preview, refresh. Oh, it didn't work. Let me have a look why. If have post or have post. I hate doing this part. I think I've actually got a clip for it. Yep. Of course. Well, that's tried and true, so I'll copy out the li, get rid of this one. Where is it? I can't actually see the problem, but I'll cancel, that's not editing. Whoops, just re-indent. Alright, so hopefully now it should work. Uh-oh, that's no good. Wow. Whoops. This is really strange. I'll just have a look at the source code, see why it's not working. Oh, so the whole UL isn't displaying, which is kind of strange. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so it's at the loop. Have post. Okay, there it is. So I'm displaying one li. I'm freaking out here. Have post, the post, end while, end if. Don't actually see what's wrong with it, so I'll copy this one out because it's working. That's very strange. I apologize, guys, for this. Re-indent. If anyone can tell me in the comments what I've done wrong, please tell me. Alright, there we go. Maybe it was having these two together. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But now we've got our extensive list of contacts, which will eventually become our name section, which is in the middle of here, which will become these. I've got 164, but I don't think you guys could be bothered creating that many for this tutorial. Now, we also need to include the function. So there's actually a way to I call it function proof your nobody actually reads my blog yet, but I wrote a post ages ago that explains how to function proof your WordPress blog. And basically, instead of going what's the function called? It is live search pop-up results. Man, that's long. Instead of going live search pop-up results box and then the theme breaking if it's not activated, you can actually check to see if it's there. So you go PHP if function exists and it's called live search pop-up underscore results box, do this, and in the do this area we will go live search pop-up results box there. And that should actually work, I believe. I'll just double check. Oh yeah, and we'll give it the a value of 160 pixels, which I don't think actually did anything, to be honest, but it says to in the manual. So, and now if we type here submit, we'll go surf. It's not actually doing anything. Maybe it's because it's white. I think I styled it white. Anyway, we'll get it to work later on. In fact, just to double make sure, I'll copy this and paste it in here. Reload. Stuff. Yeah, it must be in white. Oh, actually no, I know what it is. I haven't activated it. So, I do apologize. So we'll go to our WordPress admin, go to plugins. We'll activate the live search pop-up. I cannot believe I forgot that. So we'll go here, we'll go surf. And here's our list that's automatic. Now see the big grey bar? That's from the styling, because when we get later on, which I'll show you, it actually goes grey when you hover over it. Alright, fantastic. So now that we've got that, we can move on to the post area. Now, because this is just the index, we'll just stick a header to an instructive header to that says click on name to view contact card. Reload. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. I'll just fix it. Alright, so now we've got that. And finally, in the footer, now this is where we come in contact with our first if statement to check if the admin's logged in. So it starts off like any other PHP with some PHP tags. Oops. We'll create some void for it. Maybe not that much. And we'll go if. Now the variable user ID, strangely enough, must just check for us, because I actually don't get why it does that. So the variable user ID must be the true or false. Like if true, do this. Anyway, so now we're gonna create the link. I actually didn't need to give that void. Alright, we'll create the link. So a href equals php blog info URL as usual. Now slash WordPress admin, and then so in WordPress admin, what we'll do is we'll figure out where it needs to go. So it needs to go to, what are we doing? This link. What does this link do? Okay, this link adds an entry. Right. So basically we need to figure out what the URL is, which is /wp-admin /post new. So we'll copy that. We'll paste that in there. Fix that up. Title. I am pretty bad. I don't generally add titles, but you should add a title for everything because it's good practice and it's good for SEO value. Add entry. I think there's an image in here, so we'll go image source equal, and we need to give it a class too. Class equals add entry, I guess. Why not? PHP blog info template directory /images. Now the image folder that I downloaded, it's got all these images, which is quite a lot actually. What this image is going to get is the where is it? is it plus? Yeah, it's this one. So this little image, which is straight from here, will, I'll just log into this one. Admin, password, will actually become this little one here. And you see if you click on it here, then it goes straight to the post new, which is pretty handy. Close that. Images / plus.png, alt equals, add alt 2, I'm just too lazy. And we'll close the A, I think that's right. And, oh yeah, and also, it has this little edit button, which we can't actually make it do that too easily, but it is here. So we'll add that one in too. Href, whoops, PHP blog info, URL. Now, okay, we've actually got to create another, like an embedded if statement, because like if it's home, we don't actually want it to do. Actually, we do. Forget I said anything. Okay, so we need to create another link. Ahref equals PHP blog info URL. Apologize for the /admin. Now, we because it's not actually in a loop, it's not that easy to get the post ID by saying the ID as a function, but what we can do is figure out where the edit post is. So you'll see that this is the URL for the edit post, wp-admin / post action edit. Alright, so we need to take off this much, which is good, and then PHP echo post ID. This is a cheater's way of getting the post ID. Title equals edit is contact. Now I'm not sure if this works too well, but we're doing it. Is PHP blog info template directory, whoops, / images / edit button .png. Alt equals, and A, we'll close that off. And so now you should see, if you're logged in, which I am. Oh, we forgot our end if. End if. There it is, and we've got these little 2 buttons that, because it's the most recent one. I think that's all that's meant to go in there. Oh, and of course, down here it says the total amount of cards. So we're gonna do our very own version of that. So we'll go span ID equals tote cards. Now this is actually going to be tricky for me to write a tutorial part on because it's basically SQL syntax. So what I'll do is I'll make sure Jeffrey, the editor of NetTuts, puts this little code snippet up. Or you can just copy it from here. But I'm just going to copy it and paste it because it's a bit hard to retype. Let you look at that for a bit just to type it. And now if you go back here, it says how many cards we've got. We've got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's figure that out. Manage. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9! Isn't that interesting? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not sure why that doesn't work. I can't actually do much with that because I'm not too skilled in the whole, PHP coding area. But anyway, so that's pretty much our homepage done. It'll look like this. It's not too pretty, but we'll go on to coding that later. So right now we've got all that. You can close index.php, and we'll get you to open up single.php. Actually, reopen index.php. My bad. Copy all that over to single.php. Just Control C, Control P. Anyway, I don't think there's a lot that needs to be changed. I'll just have a quick scan through. Oops, I can get rid of that. It's looking pretty much the same. I think what'll change most is here, because it's, yeah, we put a query post in. That's because because it's single, WordPress is by default only going to display one, so we have to tell the post engine to show posts as many as possible. I just put 999 because there's no way 9999 posts are ever going to be made into a WordPress blog. Well, maybe they are, but that guy's pretty lost. He doesn't really have a life. Anyway, cool. So we just need to, that's done. I'll just have a quick scroll through. Okay, alright. Now, see how this big block looks kind of ugly, huh? This is where a lot of stuff happens. Alright, let's get started. Basically, yeah, this is going to be tough. Alright, so the whole load area is wrapped by a loop. Let's hope I get it right this time. If alright, have post, well, whoops, the post. Div ID, what div class? I think it is. It's a class. Class. No, it's an ID. There you go. Whoops. Div ID equals in content. Right, now all our information can go in between this area. Just have a quick look. Alright, so what do we start with? Alright, okay, okay, this is interesting. Because we screwed up the query post up here with the show post 999, this loop will also show as many posts as possible. So a quick dirty way to reset that is just by typing query string as a variable, and that sets the query post back to defaults, so that's kind of handy. Cool stuff. Now I can get started. Okay, now for each due to the nature of like adding stuff and minusing stuff, we'll actually need to check first and foremost if the custom field exists. If it doesn't, then we'll have to provide a link to the admin page, or just display nothing. So what's our first block? Our first block, I think, is the image. Yeah, entry image. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with custom fields or not, but they, like I said, they're just extra bits of information. So the way to get them is by echoing the function get post meta. Oh, yeah, so get post meta, and now the meta from the post that we want is this post, so we'll do the dirty method again, post ID. The name of the field is entry image, and true to it being singular. I'll get rid of that. Now, if we alright, so we'll just have a look at that. Go on a single page. Where is it? Okay, once again, the loop isn't working. Hooray! Whoops. Oh man, I hate when it does this. Alright, I'll just copy this one over because it's working. I'm really stumped as to why it's not working, because generally I'm pretty good with getting the stuff right. Maybe today isn't my day. I believe it closes with end while and end if. I really do apologize for this, guys. Maybe this will work. No, still not working. Maybe it's something to... Ah, it's that. Get person. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, nothing's going right for me today, guys. My first screencast and everything's going on. Anyway. Oh, I do apologize. I know why it wasn't working. It was because this particular user doesn't have an entry image. So, okay, there we go. There's his address. Oh man, that's a shame. I forgot to tell you guys. You should probably, just for reading sake, change the, for permalink sake, change it to custom structure, and then just make it post name. Yep, that's good. Save changes. But now it's gonna go annoying. Oh no, it's working. Cool. Now see up here, it's got the name of the person, which is kind of handy. It's a bit more informative, you know. Anyway, and I forgot up here too. See this little left aqua, I think it's called? Yeah, we can get rid of that by just simply telling WP title to display nothing beforehand. And just open up index.php and do the same thing quickly. Sorry about that. Anyway, so back down to our loop. Our vast loop. That hurts my head as to why it's not working. Anyway, entry image. Okay, because there's nothing there, it's obviously not going to display. If you go to something like the adapt one, it's got the link to my localhost image. Which when we image source pardon, it turns into an image, which is pretty handy. We won't actually do that yet. So basically what we've got to do is check that if it's there. So we go if that, I think it's in another set of brackets. Let me just check. If, yep. Okay, so